So I'd like to welcome Principal Alex Cortes and his team.
Thank you.
From Lauderbach Elementary School in Chula, Vista, California. Welcome. Could you talk to us a little bit about why you have such a strong team of educators at your school? What has influenced the development of the climate and culture among the teachers at your school?
Well, it's been developed through our work and through our setting high expectations for all our teachers. We set very clear goals, clear vision that is shared very constantly to our staff. And we make sure that everybody understands what we're about, and what we're about is about students. We're about kids, about making decisions for kids that's going to be in the best interest for them and not in adult needs. And we are constantly reminding ourselves about that. And it's not easy, but we are also building in ourselves an accountable community where it's within each other as a team that we hold each other accountable, and that we're constantly pushing each other, and we're challenging our thinking and challenging ourselves about what we want, what we expect for our students. And it shouldn't just come from the principal. So it's about within ourselves, what is it that we want for our expectations for our students. So it's that we've set a standard of greatness, that being good is not going to be enough. We set an expectation of that we will strive for greatness, and within that road to greatness there may be, there is going to be times when we're going to falter, or we are going to learn, but we learn from that. So it's not about whether you got things wrong or you make mistakes. It's let's use those as opportunities to learn and learn from each other. And it doesn't come from me again. It's about, as we do that accountable community and we set expectation, we also set, give our teachers opportunities to share their learning, and it's building capacity within themselves. So it's, again, it's not just me. And I always tell them, if I'm not here, we still need to do the job for our kids. So it comes from everybody.
And I think what's helped build that capacity is that we've started with our ILT, our Instructional Leadership Team, which comprises of a grade level rep from each grade level. And they've received professional development on how to have those difficult conversations that we need to have in the best interests of students. So I think that's really helped to also foster that accountable community.
And then within that too, it's that level of trust that we've built amongst the staff, amongst each other, that has allowed us to take us to where we're at, to have those tough conversations, to be critical friends, and know that the feedback we're giving our teachers or ourselves is all within the mindset of students. How can we do that for the benefit of the students?
And when holding each other accountable, it's not about finger pointing, you're not doing this, it's about supporting each other and becoming better as professionals, again, in the best interest of kids.
That's a difficult process. How has it been? What are some of the challenges along the way?
Well, when you know people as friends and you know them as acquaintances, it's tough to have to tell them, really, you need to do this differently. And that's feelings, it's emotions. Mm-hmm. And that's tough. It's not easy. Mm-hmm. But we have to provide the support and the tools for our teachers to have those conversations. And so we do that. We provide them training on how to listen, how to pose those good questions, how to rephrase things, and so that it's not just coming from myself or my coaches or my associate principal, but it's coming from within themselves. And it's a process. There are bumps along the way, and it's not always easy. There's times when it's very difficult for them to have those conversations, but I always tell them, when you have to have, it's a good question or a good conversation when it hits you right here in the gut. Because that to me tells me that it's hard, but you know that deep down you have to do it because it's the right thing to do, but it's hard because you have that boundary that you're like, we're friends, but now we're professional point here, angle. So when I tell my coaches, I go, I want to see the type of questions you're pushing for our teachers, and when it's hard, when you tell me what's kind of difficult, because it's like, I go, well then that's a good question. That's the question I want you to ask. Challenge. push them.
Good, thank you. So if a school wanted to achieve great results, like your school has achieved, what should they do to improve teaching? What are some practical things they can do?
Well, I'm gonna just, one thing that's helped me tremendously and that I just believe in is I need to be in classrooms. And I make it a priority that I am in classrooms. 40 to 50% of my day is in classrooms. I need to know what's happening. I need to see what's taking place or not taking place. I need to celebrate and acknowledge the teachers that are doing some great things in those classrooms. And also look at how we support some teachers that are needing some extra, that need support. And I can't determine next steps or determine where we're going if I don't know what's happening in my school. And so I need to be involved, I need to be in the field, really, to understand what's happening and not happening. And from there, we start looking at data, we look at all the components, the data, looking at instruction, and then determining what next steps we have to take.
I think one of the things too that we've done at Lauderbach is that we have one focus, and our PLC is around that one area. And we know we have a lot of things going on, but our focus is we want to get great at one thing. And we can't accomplish that if we keep adding things. So that's one of the things that at Lauderbach we've done is we have focused on one area and we have created our PLC around that one area. And that has allowed us to be in classrooms and give each other feedback so that we can reach our end goal. So that one focus has really made a difference for us too.
And like you said, really, excuse me, opening up the classrooms where teachers have an opportunity to observe one another and give each other feedback. That has been really key in helping us refine our instruction.
And going back to the walkthroughs, that feedback at times is on the spot. Our kids, we don't have time to waste, so sometimes we're just in there. Let's do this. Think about doing this differently on the spot, and that transforms the entire lesson at that moment. It's something our coaches are starting to do more often, but self-administration does that as well. Just that little tweak at that moment just sets off the entire lesson a lot in a better path.
Can I ask, on average, about how often is there a walkthrough?
Every day.
Daily.
Daily. That's a non-negotiable. That's our non-negotiable is we go in classrooms. And I know that my coaches, there's so many things going on and so many tasks that need to get accomplished, and yet are you in classrooms? Wait, what are we here for? We're here to be in classrooms. And I know it throws them off a little bit, but that's our non-negotiables. You need to be in the classrooms, you need to be in there supporting students, you need to be in there supporting, supporting, working with the kids necessarily, but supporting the teaching and instruction that's taking place. And we do our walkthroughs. We go in there together sometimes. So it comes to the point where our students don't even look up when we come in anymore. And now we have guests that come to our school. They don't even pay attention. They're just, oh, okay. It's just a natural part of what happens at Lauderbach.
Well, you speak of the students, and your students that we interviewed seemed to believe that they had a great chance to succeed academically. They thought that learning was interesting and exciting. What have you done to influence how students feel about learning and about their future?
We believe in them. We believe in all our kids that they will be successful. We are here for them. We are advocating for them. We are their voice. And we make sure and let them know that they will be successful. So everything we do is purposeful. Everything that's done has a purpose for what they're learning. It's intentional. There's no murkiness about what they're learning, and it's very explicit. So that when we talk to kids and I ask them, they can tell me what they're learning and how it's going to help them in their lives, how it helps them now and how it's going to help them in their future. And we, again, just make sure that we know every kid. We know that we talk to them. We ask them how they're doing with certain areas and that they may be struggling with, and it surprises them when they go, really, you know how I did on this assessment? Well, yeah, we know. And that to them shows that shows them that we know them, and they're not just a number. They're our students, and we have an investment in them. So we just make sure they know that we're with them.
There's a sense of pride from our teachers. When we're there, we know we're there for a reason, and the students feel that pride as well. So I think that culture within Lauderbach, it's that pride. They're bringing everything back to, I'm here for a reason, my teachers know I can do this. So it's just that the culture of the school has really changed.
And just as our teachers push each other, we see the students now pushing each other, really? Working in groups and holding each other accountable and supporting each other. It's okay to struggle, it's okay not to understand something, but they know the teachers are there to support them and the kids are there to support each other. They work as a team in the best interest of the entire school and the community.
Yeah, I was going to add that we've really worked on building classrooms that foster that academic discourse between the students, and we're teaching them how to disagree with one another and how to push back and ask each other those questions. So I think that helps keep them interested in their learning as well, because they're able to express their viewpoints and really display critical thinking.
Can I ask any examples of how you connect them to the future?
Well, everything they're learning. I mean, they look at all the standards, they look at the planning that's taking place. The teachers, when they do their lesson planning, they set a purpose. How does this help them? How does this help you as a critical reader? How does this help you as a critical reader? How does this help you when you're reading the newspaper, or when you're reading nonfiction text, or when you read the Time magazine or Time for Kids? And so kids see, I make a connection. Kids are making opinions, writing an opinion on the obesity factors, on whether, some topics that are tough to talk about, and the kids sense that, wow, we can talk about this, and it's not considered, don't talk about it. They sense that there's value in this. I see a connection to our lives.
I think that's one of the things that during our collaboration, we always make sure that there's a purpose for what we're learning, what we're teaching, so that they know that if they were to pick up another book at another time outside the classroom, they could tell you, oh, I think this is about this topic based on what I already know. So they're able to transfer that outside of the classroom as well. So we're just fostering that.
We got a chance to attend your guys' open house where we did the banner presentation, and I was kind of blown away by the amount of family support and parental support that you guys had there. Is there any specific things you do to reach out to the community and kind of foster that support? Or is it just kind of natural?
But I think that when parents know that their children are taken care of, and they know that there's an investment in their children, and they know that their children are safe and they're being provided the best, what more do you need? That's the selling point, and parents know that, and they have a tremendous amount of pride that I've noticed now, that I see in them, that they feel so welcome, so comfortable in sending their children to our school. And so I think the process that we're taking on of really advocating for our kids, providing the education that we're providing, that sends that message. It's that ripple effect that our parents see that. It's been sold.
And one of the things too is that we're open about our data. Our parents know what's going on at all times. We have our display cases that focuses on that grade level, how that grade level is doing. And we've seen our parents, look at the graphs, oh, I see how we're doing as a grade. So they're aware of the things that we're doing, and they're always willing to come in. And the times that we've held, these meetings with them, we know that it's hard for them because they work, but they're always there to share that we care about our students, and that's their way of saying thank you for what we do, and we're teaching them how to help their kids at home as well.
The mindset has changed for that community. It doesn't matter where that school is located or where you're coming from, what your language is. What matters is what happens in that building for those 6.5 hours. And Mr. Cortes mentioned, now they're just invested in it, they believe, and they see a great future for their kids. maybe one that they didn't have, but now they know their kids will have that great future because of what's happening at our school.
Wonderful.
Great.
Great, thank you. And again, congratulations.